Hello students, in my today's lecture I shall continue the transistor and I shall explain you how to connect a transistor in a circuit. So today's discussion is modes of transistor configuration. How to connect a transistor in a circuit. So that is under the heading modes of transistor configuration. We all know that a transistor has three terminals: emitter terminal, base terminal and collector terminal. Now to connect a transistor, think that this is a transistor. Suppose this is a transistor. Now to connect the transistor, we require two terminals for input and two terminals for output. But the transistor has only three terminals. But we require four terminals. Then how this matter is solved? As the transistor has three terminals and we require four terminals, therefore one of the terminals of the transistor is always common to both input and output. What is done? One of the terminals is common to both input and output. Now if we make the base terminal common to input and output, then that type of configuration is known as common base configuration. If emitter terminal is common to both input and output, then that is called common emitter configuration. And if the collector terminal is common to both input and output, that is called common collector configuration. So what is done? That three configurations, there are three modes of transistor configuration. Three modes of transistor configuration. That means we can connect the transistor in three different ways. How? Number one, common base. Common base CB, common base CB, common base configuration. In this type of transistor configuration, the base terminal of the transistor is common to both input and output. So common base configuration. Next is common emitter or CE configuration. CE configuration. So in this type of transistor configuration, the emitter terminal is common to both input and output. Therefore its name is the common emitter transistor configuration or simply configuration. The third one is common collector. Common collector we mark as CC. Common collector configuration. Common collector configuration. So these are the three types of or modes of transistor configuration: common base CB, common emitter CE and common collector CC. Now we can use both NPN transistor and PNP transistor. We can use NPN transistor in common base, or we can use also a PNP transistor in common base. We shall discuss each one. How to use a NPN transistor in common base and how to use a PNP transistor in common base. Okay? So these are the three transistor configurations. As I told you, the basic function of a transistor is to use it as an amplifier. A transistor is mostly used as an amplifier. And for amplification purpose, we shall use the common base and common emitter transistor configurations. So while using the transistor as an amplifier, we make use of common base and common emitter transistor configurations. Because in these two types of transistor configurations, we get higher gain. So output voltage is amplified with respect to input. So we can use a common base configuration or common emitter configuration of the transistor while using the transistor as an amplifier. So I shall be explaining the working of common NPN transistor or PNP transistor in common base configuration. Okay students, we shall now discuss the working of NPN transistor in common base configuration. NPN transistor in common base configuration. So I am taking help of circuit diagram. So this is a NPN transistor. Okay, NPN transistor. This one is the emitter terminal. I mark as E. This one is the base terminal. And this one is the collector terminal. First of all, we shall bias. As usual, the input PN junction is forward biased and output PN junction is reverse biased. So since the emitter is N material, we shall connect the N material with the negative terminal of a battery, input battery, VEE, and the collector is the N material again. We shall use it we shall connect the collector, N type collector, with the positive terminal of another battery. Okay. Now this load resistance is the collector load RC. RC is the collector load, and this is the signal, which is a weak signal. So when I say signal, it is an alternating voltage. So it is an alternating voltage of small amplitude. Alternating voltage of small amplitude, and we can get the output here. The output voltage V out, you will find that the output voltage is much amplified with respect to input. Okay. So this is the weak signal, this is the strong signal. It is a strong signal, amplified output, amplified output. This is the common terminal. Base is common to both input and output. So this is the circuit diagram of a NPN transistor in common base configuration. So we have taken a NPN transistor, and this is arranged in the common base configuration because base is common to both input and output. Now in the input side, we have applied a weak signal, and in the output side, to get the output, we have connected the collector load. So RC is the collector load. Load means resistance connected with the collector circuit. Two batteries. One is your input battery VEE and another battery VCC. The input battery keeps the input PN junction forward biased, and the output battery VCC keeps the output PN junction reverse biased. So you can write that VEE is the input battery which keeps input PN junction, that is emitter base PN junction, forward biased, the output battery VCC, this is the output battery, keeps output PN junction, that is collector base PN junction, reverse biased. So since the input PN junction is forward biased, input resistance is very small, very low, and since the output PN junction is reverse biased, so output resistance is very high. Now we have applied an alternating voltage called weak signal to the input. It is an alternating voltage, and to get the output we have connected the load resistance RC. Now let us see how it works. As the input PN junction is forward biased, so the input current flows, and with this, during the positive half cycle of input signal, the input current increases. So the input current is the emitter current is the input current. So the direction of emitter current is outward here. See how I am marking here, small I, capital E. I mark like this, small I, capital E, because both the DC and AC are flowing here. DC due to the batteries and AC due to the alternating voltage. So this is IE, and this one the collector current IC, which is the, and this one the base current IB. So these are the three currents. Okay, so let us now see what are the input and output parameters. Input and output parameters. Input parameters means input current and input voltage. Input current, what is the input current here? Input current is IE, that is the emitter current, and input voltage, what is input voltage? That is the emitter base voltage. This is the emitter, this is the base, the voltage potential difference between emitter and base voltage, VEB. You cannot write VBE because base is common, therefore B must be at the end. So VEB, don't write as VBE. So emitter input voltage is emitter base voltage. So this one is emitter current, and this one is emitter voltage. So these are the input parameters. Similarly, output parameters. Output parameters. What are the output parameters? Output current. Output current, here it is IC, the collector current, and output voltage. Output voltage, here it is, look here, output voltage, collector base voltage is the output voltage. Collector base voltage VCB is the output voltage. Collector base voltage VCB, collector base voltage. So these are the input and output parameters. And you must know that IE is equal to IB plus IC. That means the emitter current is equal to base current plus collector current. Emitter current is of the order of milliampere, collector current is also of the order of milliampere, but base current is of the order of microampere. Okay, now we shall discuss its current amplification factor. Current amplification factor. What is current amplification factor? Current amplification factor. The general definition is like this. Current amplification factor is the ratio between output current to input current. Ratio between output current to input current. Now current amplification factor in case of common base configuration. Current amplification factor is denoted by the symbol alpha. By the symbol alpha. So alpha is the current amplification factor in common base configuration. Right? So current amplification factor alpha is defined as ratio between change in output current, change in output current, change in output current to the corresponding change in input current, change in input current. So mathematically we write like this, change in output current, here output current is collector current. So delta IC, this represents change in output current, and here emitter current is the input current, therefore delta IE, emitter current. So the current amplification factor For common base configuration, alpha is equal to delta IC by delta IE. Current amplification factor delta IC by delta IE. Okay. So under DC condition, we also call it zero signal condition. Zero signal condition, DC condition or zero signal condition. Look here. Here there is a battery DC. This is the DC source and signal is AC source. Suppose we make the signal zero. No signal is applied. No signal is applied. That is called DC condition or zero signal condition or no signal condition. So even when the signal becomes zero, because of input battery there is input current, and because of output battery there is output current, even when the signal is not there. So that is called DC condition. So under DC condition we write alpha equal to IC by IE. I make the symbols. See the small I. So this is the current under AC signal, and when DC is flowing DC current, so IC is the output current under DC zero signal condition, and IE is the emitter current under zero signal condition. So alpha equal to IC by IE. Now we all know that IE is equal to IB plus IC. As I told you, if IE equal to 100%, IB ranges from 1% to 5%, and IC ranges from 99% to 95%. 99% to 95%. So IC is slightly less than IE. IC slightly less than IE. Therefore, as IC slightly less than IE, slightly less than IE. Therefore, alpha is slightly less than 1. Alpha is slightly less than 1. And for practical transistors in common base configuration, alpha value ranges from 0.9 to 0.99. Alpha value ranges from 0.9 to 0.99. So this is the current amplification factor in common base configuration. I repeat, current amplification factor in common base configuration is defined as the ratio between the small change in output current to the corresponding change in input current. The change in output current to the change in input current. So alpha equal to delta IC by delta IE. Okay, and when no signal is applied, that is called zero signal condition. No signal is there. The signal is not applied. Even then, because of input battery and output battery, there is the current, but that current is the DC, direct current. So I make use of symbols capital IC and capital IE. So IC, capital IC is the output collector current, and capital IE is the input emitter current. Therefore alpha equal to IC by IE, and we all know that IC is very close to IE, but IC is slightly less than IE. Therefore alpha is very close to 1 but slightly less than 1. So for practical transistors, the current amplification factor alpha varies from 0.9 to 0.99. Now we shall study about the input characteristics and output characteristics. That is very important. Characteristic means graph. Characteristic means graph. and it is what graph? VI graph, voltage versus current graph. So here we shall draw the voltage versus current graph for input as well as output. So when we are drawing for input, it is called input characteristic, and plural is input characteristics. That means we are drawing more than one graph. So when we draw more than one graph, that is called characteristics. If we are drawing a single graph, then that is called characteristic. So we are going to discuss the input characteristics and output characteristics of the transistor under common base configuration. Okay. Now, first of all, let us discuss input characteristics. So if I write in the singular form, input characteristic. So what is input characteristic? Now it is the graph plotted between input voltage and input current, keeping output voltage constant. It is the graph plotted between input voltage and input current, keeping output voltage constant. So when output voltage remains constant, we want to know how input current changes when input voltage is changed. So to change the input voltage, we have applied the AC signal here, alternating voltage. So when input voltage changes, how input current changes, so that we are going to discuss graphically. So this input characteristic. So input characteristic general definition, it is the graph plotted between input voltage and input current, keeping output voltage constant. So input characteristic in common base configuration is the graph plotted between input voltage. What is input voltage? Emitter base voltage. So here we shall take input voltage. Input voltage is the base emitter voltage VEB along x-axis, and input current. What is input current? Emitter current is the input current. So IE. So this is in milliampere. This is the input current. Input current is the emitter current, and input voltage is the emitter base voltage. Emitter base voltage VEB in volt. Input voltage. Okay, and we shall plot the graph. Look here. So for three different output voltages, we have plotted three different graphs. This is the graph when VCB equal to 0. This is the graph when VCB equal to say 10 volt. And this is the graph, I write like this. VCB equal to 0, VCB equal to 10 volt, VCB equal to 20 volt. So for three different output voltages, we have plotted three graphs. Each one is input characteristic. So this is the input characteristic when output voltage is 0. This is another input characteristic when output voltage is kept constant at 10 volt. And this is another input characteristic when output voltage is kept constant at 20 volt. So these are the input characteristics. Okay. So what is input characteristic? Common base configuration. Input characteristic in common base configuration is the graph plotted between input voltage, that is emitter voltage, emitter base voltage, and input current, that is emitter current, keeping output voltage constant, keeping output voltage constant, that is collector base voltage constant. Now each one is a input characteristics. So this figure shows three different input characteristics for three different output voltages. Now what information we get from these input characteristics? You mark that when input voltage is increased, when input voltage is increased, input current also increases. When input voltage is increased, input current increases, but non-linearly. This shows that the transistor is a non-linear device. It is a non-linear device. Okay? The graph is non-linear. What do you find? The slope. You can find out the slope by drawing the tangent. So let us find out the slope here. Draw a tangent here. So what is this? This is the change in input voltage, that is delta VEB, VEB, and this is the change in input current, that is delta IE, delta IE. So we find that the slope of input characteristic, slope of input characteristic, slope of input characteristic is equal to, as per definition of slope, change in y coordinate by change in x coordinate. Along y axis we have taken emitter current, and along x axis we have taken emitter base voltage, input voltage. Therefore slope of the input characteristic is now equal to delta IE by delta VEB. Okay, now you find out its reciprocal. So reciprocal of input characteristic, reciprocal of slope of input characteristic 1 by slope, that is equal to delta VEB by delta IE. See here, this is the input voltage, numerator is the input voltage and denominator is the input current. Therefore input voltage by input current is called input resistance, R in. This is called input resistance. So input resistance is equal to the reciprocal of slope of input characteristic. Now let us discuss its value. See, as I told you, a small change in input voltage brings a larger change in input current. A small change in input voltage brings a larger change in input current. So here numerator is smaller and denominator is comparatively larger. Therefore R in is small. Input resistance is very small. That should be because in the transistor the input PN junction is forward biased. Therefore input resistance must be very low. That also we have discussed by help of the VI characteristic. So this is the information we get from input characteristic. Similarly, we shall discuss its output characteristic. Now what is output characteristic? Output characteristic, general definition, it is the graph plotted between output voltage and output current, keeping input current constant. So graph between output voltage and output current, keeping input current constant. So here look at the common base configuration. Output voltage is collector base voltage, output current is collector current, and input current is emitter current. So if we plot a graph between output voltage, that is collector base voltage, output voltage is collector base voltage in volt, and output current, that is collector current IC in milliampere, keeping the input current constant. Here input current is emitter current. So keeping emitter current constant, if we plot a graph between VCB and IC, so that will be the output characteristic. Okay, now let us draw the output characteristic. So look here, I have drawn three different graphs, three different output characteristics for three different values of input current. First of all, we have made the input current 0. See, input current 0. That means even if you remove the battery, there will be no current in the input side. But there is a battery in the output side. So there will be output current. Okay? So this graph, this is the first one when IE equal to 0. Then we have kept IE constant at 5 milliampere. Another graph. And when we have kept IE equal to 10 milliampere, we have got another output characteristics. So we have drawn here three different output characteristics for three different input currents. So output characteristic is a graph plotted between output voltage and output current, keeping our input current constant. Now let us see what information we get from the output characteristic. The output characteristic. Look here. If you find that a very large change in output voltage, brings a very small change in output current. You will find out the slope. Take 2 points here. You take 2 points. You will see that this one is the change in output voltage. So which is, we call it delta VCB, and this is the change in output current, that is delta IC. So a very large change in output voltage brings a very small change in output current. But when input current is increased, output current suddenly increases. See here, when input current was 0, the output current was here. But when input current becomes 5 milliampere, the output current increased. Again, when we increase the input current to 10 milliampere, output current increased. So this shows that in the common base configuration, here the output voltage is not controlling the output current. output current is not controlled by output voltage. It is controlled by the input current. So input current is controlling the output current. Hence, we call the transistor as a current control device. So the output characteristic shows that in output current is controlled by input current but not by output voltage. So we said that transistor is a current control device. Hence transistor is a current controlled device. Transistor is a current controlled device. Another point. This is the one point. Second point. Now you find out the slope. Slope, as per definition, it is a change in y coordinate by change in x coordinate. So along y axis we have output current, and along x axis we have taken output voltage. So therefore slope of output characteristic is equal to delta IC by delta VCB. Delta IC by delta VCB. You see here that delta IC very small, but delta very large. Therefore, when you find out the reciprocal of the slope of output characteristic, that is equal to delta VCB by delta IC. So this is here, the numerator is output voltage and denominator is output current. Ratio between output voltage and output current is called output resistance. Therefore, the output resistance, that is equal to the reciprocal of slope of output characteristic. Reciprocal of slope of output characteristic is the output resistance. And here delta IC very small and very large. Hence R out is very large. R out is very large. Okay, it is of the order of kilo ohm. But input resistance is very small, of the order of ohm. So look here, in the transistor, input resistance is very small and output resistance is very high. It should be because input PN junction is forward biased, so input resistance should be small. And output PN junction is forward biased, therefore reverse bias, so output resistance should be very high. So that also we have explained on the basis of the graph. So this can be a long question for you. Discuss the working of NPN transistor in common base configuration. So you have to write everything, all these things.